I look like a complete wreck. I look damaged. I just ran blocks and blocks and blocks to be able to get something at the store. What I look like doesn't matter right now at all. Everything that I'm going to talk about is much more important. Anywho, I ran to Walgreens. I can't say that this is going to do much good for tomorrow. But I went and got them anyway because I'm going to do anything I can think of to counteract what's going to happen tomorrow. I got to get my hair up or I'm going to die of heat right now. I'm cooking like a freaking chicken. Anywho, tomorrow they are going to be sending out a signal to every convenient that we all have smart TVs now. To them, to anything that you have the internet on, and mainly something that we all can't do without, and the government gives out free. Does the government give anything out free for no reason? Is there something the matter with it? Could it be useful to them that you have all these phones, tablets, and things to entertain yourself with? Wow. They serve their purposes and their agendas. Now, there's a lot of you that will be thinking, oh, it's one of those crazy theorists. Conspiracy theories. Well, guess what, boys and girls? I'm not the only one in the world where they would like to have us people that did not get the jab or go along with their shit. They would like to have you believe that us that are now the minority because we didn't get these things and don't go along with these things, us rebels, that we're crazy. Because if you think that we're crazy, as well as all of our family members and friends that they have going along with this, think that we're crazy and, oh, we have to do something about them. We have to make them do things that you're supposed to be doing because they said so. Well, who is they? Who is they? Is it not the people that run everything behind the scenes and in front of your face daily on a regular basis? Anywho, when they put this signal out tomorrow, and I think maybe like October 24th also, I know that it has something to do with maybe it being around the solar eclipse that's supposed to happen on the 14th, that 10 days before tomorrow, and then 10 days after the 24th, they're either going to put out another signal or maybe that's when everything just starts happening. It's supposed to be happening. I want you to go to my Facebook page, Jacqueline, Jacquelyn, J. Scoville, Scoville. Check out the information that I threw up there on the fly today to get some stuff out to you, like to get you paying attention to some very good possibilities that are getting ready to happen to you right now. Okay? Because as I didn't have that little poke done to me, because I'm not an idiot, and I pay attention to different things. I don't sit, I'll tell you what I don't do. I don't sit and watch the news. I don't sit and watch the news for what they're trying to tell me. And do you know, is there any subliminal messages on any of these things that you watch? They are running the TVs, right? It is their narrative. Am I correct? I'm not wrong in that, am I? And when you say something that is correct, or somebody comes out with information, the truth, it gets taken off. It ceases to exist. Poof! It vanishes from the internet, from, like, people vanish too, or become what people are now calling, which I have no effing idea where this came from, unalived. What the fuck is unalived? Dead. Dead. You turn up dead. Like with a necktie or something. Like you turn up dead. Like that's what happens to you, people that know things and try to tell other people, right? Like you disappear. You come down with an accident of some sort. Or you just vanish. Because somebody's pulling all the little strings to make these things happen. And I don't have enough money to do all those things. But I can get on here right now while it's still working. Talk to you. So, they can't prevent everything, can they? Besides the fact that I guess I am one of those people that don't go with the flow. Because unintelligent people, yeah, I said unintelligent people, people without their own common sense that can get information from here and there and put it together and see that something's not clicking. Something like words mean nothing. Nothing. But illusions to your little eyeballs, they mean something to people. Just like the news, which I don't watch. I next to never, ever see or watch regular TV. DVDs, maybe. Movies. TikToks. Shorts. Reels. Because I like to gather bits and pieces of information everywhere to learn real possibilities and real things happening or potentially happening. Well, let's start with tomorrow, because I got to start with tomorrow. I was going to just start with something else. My ADHD brain, it has so much that wants to fly out at one time right now that it seizes up and it just all wants to spit out at the same time, as in and that will mean nothing. So I'm trying to slow it down a little bit. Anywho, so that for the people that get off my live or only have the time span of a guppy to be able to listen for a minute and then shut it off and go to the next thing, I'm going to start with that first. Tomorrow, October 4th, Wednesday, 2023. It's supposed to be 2:20, but I would be safer to say I'll start at 2. At least 2. if you can go the whole day, that'd probably be great. That would safeguard you and probably be even better. But I can't. I'm going to be off doing things. Even though it brings up some avoidance problems for me to be away from all these things, it's going to create a little bit of a challenge. But there are some ideas that I have spinning for where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing from wherever I'm at that time. And when I went to Walgreens for $5, I got a 10-pair pack, as you see, of earplugs. They had silicone, but they didn't have the sound reduction level as this specific one did. And I didn't have but 3 kinds to choose from, so I went with these. And I had plenty of pairs. I'm going to leave some here at my house if any of my family chooses to use them. Probably not, because I'm the one in the family that is out there and has the guts to not go along to get along and to, I don't know, not care what other people think of me or anything, that I'm going to say things and do things that aren't going to coincide to things that they would believe and do themselves. So, but I'm going to take 1 pair with me, and the other 9 will be left here for whoever in my family smart enough to use them. Anywho, if this even helps, they're going to be sending out a frequency, a signal. I believe 3 different signals and frequencies, to be exact, at like the same time or at different times or like something. However it's going. I have the information jumbled up a little bit. I crammed it all in, a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, and I have to do more research on some things, but the things that I was seeing and researching for a little while today, at the time, I'm not going to be able to recall all the little fine details and exactly where I got something from. There's just a lot of things that I know that you're just going to have to trust me on that. So, they're going to be sending out these frequencies. And they're going to be coming through your TVs, your radios, whatever is connected to the internet that they can send a signal through. And your phones especially. And by the way, for the one person that's watching that was having a couple problems, I told you not to keep your phone in your damn pocket. Okay? I told you not to. I saw something on it earlier today. I can't say exactly what it is, but it's something that you got going on, and get your damn phone out of your pocket. Anywho, have you heard of microwaves? You cook with them all the time, right? Now, they're going to be doing this test of the 5G emergency bullshit system. And it's either and or going to be the frequency itself, like you hearing it, that is going to immediately, is going to affect you which I believe part of that is, and or getting zapped with microwaves. Okay? When you get zapped with microwaves, I'm going to tell you exactly what happens because I had it happen to me. So, it's not a far-fetched thing. I know exactly what happened, when it happened, and the circumstances surrounding it when it did. Okay? When I had the big V happen to me months before it came out in 2020. Okay? I used to walk back and forth from a store. I didn't do it that many times. It was around this time. I didn't do it very many times, but like a few times at night after Cuomo, the one that is no longer in office. No longer in office. Wonder why. Well, he had the street lights put up that supposedly are to get brighter when a car passes underneath. Now, do I look like a car to you? Nah. However, before I got sick with what they call that id stuff, and went to the hospital a couple times, laid in my bed, and this was on a Wednesday afternoon, pounding headache from out of nowhere that nothing took away. Not water, not aspirin, nothing. Most pounding freaking headache ever. It started around 3 o'clock that day. And ironically, I don't know, maybe it was September. Things happen around then for some weird reason. And or maybe it was October. I'm not sure exactly when, but I know it was the end of that year. And it was like the first snowfall that was coming, like a blizzard, like some bullshit blizzard, something out of nowhere, like days later. But this Wednesday afternoon, the splitting headache, I'm out of town. I come back in town on a bus. I think maybe I'm getting ready to have a damn heart attack or something. My heart's beating out of my chest. I'm like, something not right. I run into Rite Aid when it used to be Rite Aid. And I took my blood pressure. It was unusually high. Microwaves cook people and make those things, they heat things up, right? Okay. It was unusually high. Then I proceeded to walk from Rite Aid and go to urgent care, where that CVID test was not out or even thought of yet. I took a flu test. Didn't have the flu. They couldn't figure out what was the matter. Okay. I can't remember what they gave me. Something for the headache. Ibuprofen. I think it was ibuprofen. Okay. So, I walk back to the store. I get it, and I go back home. This was on a Wednesday night. 2 days later, the next day, let's start with the next day. headache, head throbbing. I feel nauseous. I don't feel so good. And all of a sudden, like my chest, I'm all screwed up. I don't feel like moving. Like anybody that has it does. And you want to lay down and you don't want to move. You don't feel like you can move. Your muscles, your joints, everything hurts, right? You lay down. You try not to move because it feels better when you don't. For 2 days of that, 2 days, in 2 days' time, I'm laying there on a Friday evening before urgent care closed again. And in 2 days' time, all of a sudden, something I've never had happen to me before in my entire life, and I'm an avid smoker, baby. I've been smoking 40 years religiously. I smoke practically one cigarette right after another, and that's no joke. If I'm somewhere I can smoke, that's what I'm doing. I'm sure I go through 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Easy, but I can still breathe, I can still run, and I can still function because I take in a lot of healthy things. Anywho, back to what I was saying. Okay, so in 2 days' time, my lungs filled up with fluid so much, I wake up and I can hear the fluid in my lungs gurgling as I breathe, like if I just jumped out of water that I was freaking snorting, fucking inhaling. Literally. Like, you call that pneumonia, you call that whatever the hell you want to come up with, but I know exactly what it was. It was this big thing we're gonna have going on now with all different kinds of strains and strands and came from here and came from there, and it's this and it's that, and the big V, and all these things that are gonna happen simultaneously after they announced that they were an after tomorrow, right? After tomorrow. What's going to happen to all the people that got poked tomorrow? What's going to happen to all of you? It saddens me. I can't talk about that right now because I'll effing cry. And I don't want to do that right now. Anywho, 2 days' time, laying down, not moving at all. Could barely eat or drink anything. The most I could do is drink something. Water. Lots of water. A little bit of juice. Definitely not orange juice. We couldn't go for milk. And for some weird reason, I couldn't touch chicken. I went for the natural, go for chicken broth thing. Chicken. Noodle soup. Oh no. I couldn't even breathe on it. For a while, after that even, still to this day, I'm not that big on chicken. I went to have some of that and I almost was gonna throw up. It made me way sick to my stomach, for some reason. Anything that had to do with chicken and eggs. Eggs, my favorite thing. Which, by the way, provides most vitamins and minerals that you need during a day. Remember that. Anywho, during that time, I could have died. If I didn't get up when I did, 2 evenings later, that Friday night, if I didn't get up and walk, and mind you, I was walking. I wasn't riding a bike. I wasn't doing transportation whatsoever. I was on Shoe Leather Express, baby. And I had to move and go down to urgent care again before they closed that night. Now, at that point, they gave me a Z-Pack. They gave me a Z-Pack, which was like strong zinc and stuff. Like some kind of strong zinc antibiotic, whatever the hell it is. But yeah, when they say zinc will help get rid of it, yes, it does. Yes, it does. How? I'm not 1,000% positive. But maybe it's because it makes the fluid go out of your lungs. Or something. Helps get rid of that. Or binds metals of some sort in your body and takes them out. I'm not 100% positive of all that whole deal. I just know exactly what will work and what has worked and what I did and what I had at the time before they came out with this big bullshit that they're going to try to mask you up for. So you can sit there and breathe in your own bacteria-filled crap and in carbon dioxide. Do we run on carbon dioxide, monoxide, dioxide? Any of it? Anything carbon? No. Oxygen would be the word. We need oxygen, and mask kind of prevents that a little bit. Doesn't it? Lots of people get sick then, don't they? Anywho, back to what I was saying. They gave me a Z-Pack. And also, at the time, when I remember specifically, when I was on my way back home that night, nighttime, just got dark, 8:30 at the time, or something, 8, whatever. It was dark out. And I was going through, out of nowhere, some crazy ass blizzard bullshit. Like, there was no snow on the ground at this time. It was like the first snow or something. And it was like, whew, I was walking through blizzards. Okay, all good. But that movement, that sweating that I did when I was walking and stuff, kept me alive. Made it work out of me, out of my system. Those things I took made it go away. I went outside. I had no problem with being outside. I got fresh air in my lungs, whether it was 30 degrees out or it was 80. I had fresh air. They didn't want you to do that, did they? They wanted you to stay inside, where indoors, your freaking air, unless you have ventilation, unless you have like a fan in your window sucking air in, or just a window open, period. I had all my windows cracked. I was a smoker. I didn't want my whole house to be filled with smoke all the time because, like I said, back-to-back smoker. So I always had fresh air also. And I had fresh air, movement, because I had to keep walking back and forth from these things. I went to get the medicine. I couldn't get it till the next morning, Saturday morning. I was half damn dead. But I felt a little bit better when I walked away from there. I want to say maybe they gave me a dose before I left because the pharmacy was closed till the next day. I'm not 100% on that. But I was walking and in fresh air before that. I wasn't laying down dying like a lot of people did and will if they don't get up and move, if they don't get fresh air. And let me tell you what happened previous to all this, because I know for a fact that's exactly what I had that they call that a few times, like previous to that, I mean within days, within days, like maybe the night before type of shit. I walked, and it was like the second, third time I had done it. I had walked under a street lamp, and I saw something happen that I have never seen before in my life, which caused me at the time to start looking into it, and I'm gonna see if I can find this freaking video that I'm sure I saved, and I'm sure that I kept, and hopefully it wasn't taken off, because I was having a hard time trying to find them today until I just remembered where I've got this, if they didn't take it down. I had walked under the street light with my phone in my hand, like everybody does, walking down the street at night, and all of a sudden, as I walk underneath the street light with my phone in my hand, my phone starts glowing, baby. The light brightened right up, like it doesn't even brighten up when I have it on full lighting, like right now. I've never seen it happen before until this in my whole life. Until this 5G crap. Until these street lights were put up that are zapping our freaking ass with microwave bullshit something. Telling you. I walk under it, brightens right up. Glows brighter than I've ever seen my phone ever. Ever. Still to this day. Because I try not to. Right? I try not to walk under the things having my phone on me anymore since that. But I did. And as I walked away, the lighting went back down to normal. And I was like, wait a minute. What the fuck? And I turned and I didn't turn around. I walked backwards with the phone in my hand. And the street light lit up brighter, and so did my phone. And I was like, oh, hell no. And so then I started looking into this and talking to some people that are pretty knowledgeable about things like this and keep up on things more than I do, because I don't like mainstream news, newspapers, nothing. And I found that, like, at the time, I had a video where somebody that worked on 5G things, that installed them, had came on, like, in this shit, like, it got shut up, zipped out real freaking quick after, like, I have caught information about something, whether it was on TV, news, media, wherever it came from. I've seen things that have to do with these things that came out for a minute, and then they got rid of it. They got rid of it. They got rid of the person. The person disappeared. The person made themselves disappear to not have anything happen to them. Terrified, like this 5G guy that installed them did. Like, he was right on the video talking about this and saying, like, all the things that can happen to people and that he saw happening to people that installed the shit. That installed it. Were having things happen to them. Okay? Hello? Hell, fricko. People that think that I'm nuts right now, or that anybody that talks about the shit is. They count on people like you. They count on people like you. That don't educate yourself on nothing, that just goes with the flow, because it's easier. It's easier not to be defiant. It's called defiant, isn't it? Bad behavior to go against what you're told by the masses in society as a whole. It's a bad idea, isn't it? Gotta get rid of us, right? But if there's enough of us yelling to the top of our lungs, maybe somebody with some money somewhere could do something about it that will help us all. Help all of us. Not just their little pocket in themselves and all the things that they want to buy and do with all their freaking riches, millions and billions of freaking money to help us. But I'm sure you're scared, right? You're too afraid to go up against the people that run the world right now. They got a lot more resources, money. A lot of people can be paid to do things, right? But I'm telling you, I had what they're calling that shit before it even came out. And I'm telling you, I found out that that shit zaps your ass with microwaves. Okay? And when I went under that street light, I got a little cooking. Guarantee on just enough of a level to do something, but not so much of a level, not such a high frequency that you would immediately notice it as in, psst, you're vaporized, or boom, you blow up, like water or anything you put in a microwave would. But you see, if you put a cup of water in the microwave, how it boils, how it bubbles up and it boils. Well, when you're microwaved, what do you think it does to the majority of the we are made up of water in your body? What do you think it might do to that? Would it create something like maybe popcorn lung or something? Would it? Like, what would happen to the water in your lungs if it was microwaved? I bet it would be a problem like I had. I'm sure there was no strain to it. It didn't come from an animal, unless it's something else that I have to look into. The possibility of what you're being poked with, besides the possibility of graphene being in it, which is a metal, is it not? Which in your body will go and settle in your brain and in your heart. So, tomorrow, when they put out these 3 frequencies, or 1 frequency, whatever it is, concentrated frequency, when they put it out for what they call a test, that is supposed to start at 220 and last for 20 minutes, they say that it's going to be lasting for an hour. So what are those other 45 minutes for? What's going to happen in those 45 extra minutes after your phone's zapped? Your phone is sitting there going off with this frequency that you're also going to hear with your ears. So henceforth, why I went and got these earplugs, because I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start with that. Not hearing none of it. None of it in any kind of range or level that it's going to affect my brain or my heart, whatever. But if it's an actual radiated microwave zap for that, which would emit coming straight from your device, or the device sitting next to you, or the TV you're watching, or the radio, Bluetooth, whatever, speaker, anything that you got going on, that this frequency is going to be thrown through and whatever the hell it's going to do. It's supposed to be loud. It's supposed to be loud. So, anybody that's old, be careful of them. Warn them ahead of time. Get them the hell away from it. Shut your devices off. Shut your shit off. If you can do it for the whole day, do it as long as you can. You have no idea what they're doing, exactly how long, exactly when. I'm just going to go with the 2:20 for sure. For sure, the 2:20, 2 o'clock probably would be a good idea to start. That I'm going to be away from possibility, hopefully, a little bit of these things. At the time, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be out of town, and I'm going to be around an amazing amount of devices and people with phones and machines and TV screens and things. But during that time, guess where I'm going to be in that building? I'm going to go down to the ground floor. The ground floor, underground, basement area, parking garage area, something. Bet your ass. I swear, I'll stay there for that whole freaking hour if I have to. My phone's not going to be anywhere near me. Nowhere near me. I will leave it at the table of where I'm going tomorrow. And I will walk away. And I will leave it for an hour. At least. During this time. Now, I've seen where maybe it's you should be doing this from 2 to 4. 2 to 4. Because you don't know exactly how long whatever they're doing is lasting. Or, they might try to catch some of us, like me, off guard. So, it'd be safe to say probably to be as far away from anything electronic as humanly possible. Underground, if possible. Like, not up where you can get zapped crossways of freaking these waves. Bing, 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 bouncing off and getting your ass like it does in a microwave with your food. Yeah. I don't like being a human experiment. That's why I'm here talking to you. And let me see what else. Oh, with those pokes, there was also talk of that way back at the beginning of when this crap started, 2020, that got snuffed out real fast. Talking about it. You see, now you're distracted with what? Trump and what he's doing. God love him. God love him. What they're doing to him. And because he'll always be my freaking president right now. Ever since day one, he's my president. Still is. And ever since then, that, where was I? I had too many thoughts. I had thoughts of other things, and then boom, it's gone. PTSD, it'll do that to you too. Mostly my ADHD brain that gets reminded of something and veers into another subject. I know, it's kind of frustrating. Imagine being the one that has to keep going back to the previous thought to remember where you were at, because you got so much things going on in there, so many things that are important. You have an above average intelligence, and you have a ton of information swimming around in your head. And right now, I'm so upset about a lot of things that and what's probably going to happen because of all this, that it's hard for me to think right now straight too much, because I have family members that think it's a good idea to get those pokes, and thank God for the ones that didn't. And I'm not going to mention which ones did not, for the simple fact that we're the ones that they're going to be coming for, and I'm not going to tip the bastards off in knowing which ones to go get. So, the people that I know and family, but there's a lot of things that are going to go down, and it really sucks that a lot of people have become ignorant to what they're being told and just blindly following along with it because they want to be accepted in society, and they want to be doing what they think that they're being told is the right thing to do by their government and higher up officials that they believe. And that's probably going to cause us to lose those friends and family members pretty soon. So that's very sad to me. It really fucking sucks. It really fucking blows. I can't, that's the strongest word I can use on here, but the word that I want to use begins with a C and ends with sucker for what they are. For what the people, the elites that are running things and doing this to us, and their little population control game, and trying to eliminate the playing field. They want to even up the playing field because there's more of us than there is them. So what did they have to do? They had to create robots, didn't they? They had to create robots to try to level the field to be able to fight against us and take over us, right? And they were making it easier, and getting ready to make it much easier by doing these things to get rid of us, like all the natural disasters that are going to start happening. You do know, like, they stopped talking about it after they said it for a split second, okay? That they can control the weather, right? You do realize with a computer chip, they can regulate the weather. They can make these things happen. Your little fires, or could I say, big fires. Which I'm pretty pissed off about because Hawaii was where I was conceived. And I want to go visit that place someday. When I get married again someday. And I wanted to take my honeymoon there. I've always wanted to go back there. I didn't get to see it the first time. Oh, God, help me. Not that at the time I would want to. But in Maui, those fires, also, pay attention to what they're trying to evade and distract you from. The fact that, and I've seen, and I posted, I believe I posted the video that has the footage that a poor reporter that has this footage posted up and had went through all of it and noticed the Laguna blue. Things in the footage were untouched, unburnt. Can you say effing laser? Can you say laser from up in the sky? How far up can they go in a stealth or a whatever plane, little fake spaceship bullshit that they're trying to convince you is going to happen soon? All of a sudden, they got us all set up for an alien invasion, supposedly. They already proved these holograms can be done. You saw it at the football game, right? You saw that? Now, you'll have to mind me for a second. I'm doing a live video. I'm on a live video. I'd watch what you say. I'm on a live video. Everyone can hear you. These are two of the people that don't believe in anything that I know. Unfortunately. But here, let me move out of the way. Let me move out of the way. We'll let her go through for a minute and we'll move out of the way. Say hello to my little brother.
Hello.
There's Grace.
Hello.
Look at he's in his finest outfits.
Take your time.
I'm ready. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Have a good night.
Hello.
Have a good night, people.
Bye. Take the trash out.
It's garbage day.
We'll see ya.
Shove those things. Push. Oops. Oops. Moving around. I need a cigarette. I have one left before I roll more.
Oh my goodness. What a long night.
Have a cigarette with me, shall you? Anywho. Okay. Now, back to what I was saying. Lick and stick. My white hairs make my hair stick up. Yeah, that's a mother thing. We lick and stick hair. Yup, I do it to my grandchild. Poor little child. Anywho, where was I at? Oh, the Laguna Blue. And in Maui being burnt. Well, this reporter, he's terrified, kind of out of his mind, but at the same time, he wants to help people. He wants people to know what is going on. Like, this Laguna Blue, I made sure I took pictures of it because whether I buy it myself or if I can't afford it for some reason because it's supposed to be very expensive, I will replicate it. I will make that color myself. If I find that in some way it will help me from getting zapped with a freaking laser and cooked up too, I will freaking, whether it's a sheet of something, any painted with that color so that the light rays don't penetrate it to blow and burn me up, whatever. These things start happening and I'm gonna make sure I have that too. Anywho, you'll notice that on that video footage, the umbrellas at Maui that had that color were not touched. Like everything was burnt around these things. A car that was this color. The rooftop of these houses. There's nothing out here. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's coming.
Oh.
He forgot my food.
Okay. Busy. The car that was that color, the umbrellas, the beach umbrellas that were that color, Oprah Winfrey's, these top elite million, billion, trillion, whatever heirs, they had their roofs painted this color. Nothing happened to them, but all the houses and things surrounding them, like right next to them, right next to them, disintegrated, burnt
Go
up,
run and get it.
cooked up.
Go run and get it.
Hang on 1 second, don't anybody move. Don't anybody move, I gotta get something. Hold still. Hold still. Hold still.
Says Mom on mine.
It says mom on hers. Ain't for you. It's hers. She's got the only one.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night, bye, bye. Okay, give this back. Give it back.
I wait for you.
I haven't even ate yet at all today. So, at Maui, this Laguna Blue was painted on the top of Oprah Winfrey's roof and other elites' roofs, rich ass people. Now, tell me, why and how did they know to do this if they weren't in on it? Hello. They are part of the elite. They do have more money than all of us do. Right? Hello. But and to get the specific paint to put on their roofs, I can't remember. Like I heard way back when this was first mentioned, before these fires even started. I remember hearing like the amount of money that it was, like a crazy, insane amount of money for a paint. You have to be elite with a lot of money to be able to afford it. Only the people that could would have it, and have it like this specific shade and everything. Yeah. So the rest of us are freaking sitting ducks, boys and girls. We're all sitting ducks. And we are going to have to do things like I have started doing recently with looking around me in my yard, my own backyard, coming from the store, from wherever, from like side stands that have vegetables and stuff at them, organic stuff that was not genetically modified and altered, or and GMO, genetically modified, to have seedless grapes. Let's think about this. Let's go to something simple for people to see what I'm saying. Seedless grapes, genetically modified to be seedless, correct? Why would somebody want to take the seeds out of our food, especially things like grapes that are good for us? Why would somebody want to take the seeds out of your food so that you cannot produce it from your seeds? Also, things like apples and whatnot, that I found out that they radiate, they like x-ray or something under a machine, like they radiate or something, these things, before they put them in stores and give them to us, to stunt the seeds from being able to grow. Why would anyone want to do that? Unless they want to corner the market on your food supply. Hello. For the people that don't believe what I'm saying. Why would they want to do that? So that you cannot grow your own food, so that you have to rely on them for your food? Oh, no. That doesn't work in my world, because I'm an effing survivor. And I will survive. As long as I know how to think about things, and as long as I can evade the things relatively that they're trying to do to us, or that they're going to try to do to me. Yay! They're coming at us from all different ways. Shit. All they gotta do is stick a little something in your water supply and where are you going? What are you doing? See what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? How scary this is. Which I know a lot of you are terrified. But as long as you're staying up on these things, you're trying to do all the preventative things that you can do. Like that, I'm looking around and seeing different things. Like, I mean, I don't have the best sources of things here, but I'm looking at what I do have, and I'm saying, okay, where around where I live or in my own yard is there things that I could live off of? You have to start looking at these things. They may be the only things you have to live on. Okay? So, while you can get information through the internet and stuff right now, while we still have it, they're not taking that away from us yet. Learn everything that you can on how to prepare these things, if they're poisonous, like if they're good for you, like what vitamin, mineral things that can support your body, beneficial for you, that are around you. And I have a very vast array of acorns. Acorns. I'd say they're nuts, but I found out they're supposed to be like a fruit, considered a fruit. So, I have lots of acorns. I'll do a video on that. I have to recap on processing them and stuff like that, but I generally remember a little bit on what I saw, how to do that. And that might be how I have, but it'll be worth something. I'll be able to trade it with other people once I figure out, well, the process of all these things and do it. And walnuts. There's walnuts around. There's trees around the area too. Like I know where these acorns and where these walnuts and stuff, different places that they are. And I'm starting to do stuff like that. And there's also freeze-dried food. There's freeze-dried food that you can buy. You can get tons of it through Amazon and places like that lasts for 30 years. 30. In that time, between that time, I'm sure something may come about that life could be easier at some point. If it's hard at the time that you even have to tap into these things. But it can sit there for 30 years. So at least 30 to 50, something like that. And still be good. So you'll have a food supply. Learning how to clean water and things like that to make it drinkable. Purifying water. Different things like that we should be looking into. And things like, if everything shuts down, what's going to produce containers or bags, boxes, whatever. So keeping things like that you've already bought in the store that have things in them already, and when you're done eating and drinking them and you clean them and wash them out well and store them, you will still have them for things to survive later also, if you need them. So, and they also, things like that could be things that you might need to survive from trading with somebody else that has other things that you may need, supplies, food, whatever the case may be. Keep these things in mind. Let me go back to the poke, if you will, that it was said way back when, before they stopped talking about it and debating and discussing it, that there was graphene in these things, traces of it, as well as I personally know from somebody that stopped using baby food at one time, a few years ago, that they noticed that there was metal flakes, metal shavings in the child's baby food, traces amount of metal, but it came from the machine that it came from, right? the conveyor belt. I worked in food plants many times. Incredimeal, General Mills, Quaker. The quality control pays attention to all these things. You're not accidentally getting metal pieces in your food regularly. No. No. And what would be the reason that you would have these things placed in your food or in these pokes that they want you to have? Well, if you get zapped with certain frequencies and microwaves and metal travels through your system and settles in here and in your heart, when you get zapped with these frequencies and waves, what do you think happens to you? What do you think happens? It's much easier to cook metal, isn't it? Affect a part of your body where it's settled. Like your brain, for instance. If graphene deposits in your brain, the area that it deposits in, that zap cooks that area and affects your judgment. Much like the tests that are passed around for free, of course. We want you to have them all for free. Here, take 10 boxes. Take 10 boxes of the tests to do. Give everyone one. Everybody take them. The fibers on the end of these swabs, because it didn't make sense to me. Why couldn't you just use a regular Q-tip? Oh, but that could be contaminated and mess up the test, right? And it has to be jabbed way up into your membranes, right? Pineal gland. Does that ring any bell to anybody that knows anything about the human anatomy? That these fibers, these broken fibers at the end, special little fibers at the end of their swab jammed into your brain practically, really is being jabbed up into your shit. And these broken fibers like break up. They hit the membranes, these little pointy fibers on these Q-tips that they use for their tests, and they screw up the membranes and make it thinner, and like it leaks out to something or other, something having to do with the pineal gland. Like I put a video up of it, I think. Either that or I just watched it all yesterday. I'll find it, see if I posted it. If I didn't, I'll find it or another one and I'll post it. So it's not just me talking gibberish. But, like, when it, like, from this frequency or whatever, like, the other thing is that it's supposed to, like, zap, like, that area, make you, from those things being jabbed up into your membranes or whatever and affecting the pineal gland, something that this certain frequency like hits that and makes you more susceptible. Like, it zaps it so that your judgment is screwed. Like, it makes you more controllable. Like, the bottom line of whatever it is that I can't even I can't even say, like, or remember specifically the details of. I just know the overall of it is that it makes you more controllable. And have you noticed the people that got the jabs testing the stuff all the time, being tested all the time, poke, 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 that those are the people that go along with the stuff the most, and then they're gonna get hit with these frequencies, these waves tomorrow while they're sitting and watching the news with their phone near them or on it, and their smart TVs also, that, like, whether it's that idea of the pineal gland thing, and or coupled with, or just the graphene thing being in the brain, bzz, zip, it's gonna be probably a lot like getting a lobotomy. I'm imagining it being a lot like if you got a lobotomy. That's where the zombie theory comes from, that everybody getting the jab's gonna be a walking zombie. And why is that? Because if it's got graphene in it and it's settling in your brain, your judgment, your being able to make choices on your own is going to be zapped for you. You're going to become controllable at that point, because you're going to be like mindlessly just, you can't make your own decisions very well. You won't be making your decisions very well. You're going to be controlled. So that's what all the things, most of the things that I can think about right at this moment that I want you to know and think about, look into, even if it's just looking at the posts that I put up. Like some of them, like some of the things that you'll see, not every bit of it or everything that the person on the video is saying is 100% positive, but a lot of the things that they'll be saying, or that you'll be seeing in these videos, is going to be pretty darn close or exactly what things are or going to be. So be ready for it. And may God help us all. May God help us all. And try to stay away from your phones and all your devices. And I've got to look more into that it's going to be the solar thing going on the 14th, and what relevance exactly, like the exact details of the relevance of these things that are happening 10 days before it and 10 days after it. I'm going to look into more details about this stuff when I have time. I've been in the process of trying to get my freaking book that it took me a year and a half to mentally be able to sit down and pick this thing back up and think about it, because I've been through a lot in the last couple years. And I've actually pretty much got it completed. I just need to type it all out and submit it now. And that's the problem I'm having this second, because not only do I have this stuff on my mind, what's going to happen tomorrow and after that in this month, and other people that it will affect, because it really sucks that there's a person or two out there that I really love and stuff. There's people that I really love that I won't be with at the time, or period, maybe. If anything happens, it'll really suck that I'm gonna be doing everything on my own. Like, I mean, I'll have family and whatever. We'll be all taking care of each other as best as we can with the ones that are gonna go along with what has to be done to not be going along with all these things. But it's gonna really suck that I know that I'm probably gonna have to do it by myself. I have some big strong man taking care of me, but I made it 52 years by myself, so whatever. You just can't make everybody in the world act right all the time. Anywho, that's a whole different story. But in between that, I gotta get that book out there, even though it's not really all big and intricate or nothing. There's some helpful things in there. It's about coping with anxiety, PTSD, depression, things like that. People that deal with things like that. Personality disorders, functioning disorders, ADHDers, people like me that I've learned and adapted to different things throughout my life because I have undiagnosed ADHD that, believe me when I tell you, branched off into many different forms and ways of coping with it on my own, and I never realized or knew that that's what I had until within the last year, like literally a couple years tops, no joke. So my whole life I have came up with ways and beliefs to deprogram and cope with my issues that I now have from going half of my life untreated and undiagnosed for this. So, yay! Lucky you, you will have my personal guidance. Terrifying, isn't it? Only to some people. Smart people, they listen. But I have put in this book different ways to cope with it, to make it to the next day. Like, helpful tools and tips, things you can do to make your issues better, your life more manageable, and to be a survivor of all the crap I've been through, like me. And oh my God, Becky, I've been through a lot of shit. Yeah. Thank God a lot of you won't see half of what I have. You won't want to. Anywho, I'm still here to tell about it, so yay! But yeah, I'm gonna try to look some stuff up pretty quick in between things I have to do. And I really should have had that book finished today, but I just yeah, I'm too upset about a few things, and we got this major catastrophe crap that's getting ready to happen to us and our friends and family, and it was more important for me to do this than worry about a book, my time, or the money that I'm going to make when I complete it. I already got somebody that's going to buy it as soon as it's done. So, I'm going to be pretty happy about that. Woohoo! I'm going to be excited, but not today. I'm only happy about the fact that I completed it, so I don't have to think anymore about it too much. Just type it out. So, with all that being said, I hope that you can awaken to what's going on around you. We're on a stage. The things that you've been reading in books and fed as information for your entire life and have had done to you has all been by design. People have leaked the fact that we're in a matrix, and you are going to come to find out you absolutely are. You absolutely are. And the elite, this isn't the first time they reset the world and everything that we know of as being on this planet. This isn't the first time it's been reset, that they eliminated all of us and then carried on to create more of us, or kept a bunch of us to start over a new civilization or whatever. It's not the first time. That's why it's in books. That's why it's in books. From people from hundreds of years ago. Because it's happened before. And they're getting ready to do it again. In a very grand gestural kind of way. You know the thought of that they're going to be doing it on such a grand scale, using technology of it being like the biggest performance ever with the HARP project and having this big hologram Jesus in the sky that, because they've been setting us up our whole lives through school and history books that they've made us study and fed us all these things that they wanted us to think was real and happened. And it's if they weren't doing something so destructive, the ones in power that decided to take this and run with it in a destructive manner and make this new world order bullshit. Satanic bastards. That they want to do to all of us, and that they are doing to all of us. That these people are going to be killing a lot more of us. I mean, the last 3 years, they wiped out quite a few, didn't they? They weakened us, didn't they? With losing a lot of family members, especially the ones that we really cared about in nursing homes, like my father, which pisses me off. I didn't get to see him for almost a year when that shit started, while he sat there and barely knew what was going on and couldn't see me or anybody else for a while in my family. So this shit's personal. And I got grandkids and kids, and I'm not gonna let them go down without a fight either. So if I gotta go in the name of making their life better, let Judgment Day come. Okay? At first, let Judgment Day come. I'm gonna be right there, along with everybody else that's with me. So you can count on me being on your team. Not without a fight. Not without applying my knowledge. I'm not as think as you dumb I am. For the people that think I'm not very smart or cuckoo. We'll see about that, won't we? Because all of a sudden, these things are going to start happening. Don't be alarmed. Do not be afraid when you think you're having an alien attack. You're having a government grand movie moment. Okay? Actors, actresses, and robots, people, clones, all the research that they've spent all this money on. Yeah. It's all horseshit. There's no aliens from other planets. There's not. They're not going to be actual UFOs in the sky. But I am thinking, like, part of me is if they weren't killing people in the process of when they do these things, like they're going to do with all these natural disasters, that Jesus is going to rise again and he's going to come down, because they told us all these things in books, right? We learned this from the Bible, from books. We learned this from books. That they're going to use this word to make you think that it's God that you're listening to up in the sky that's talking to you. It's going to be a hologram that they made. And they're going to create with their little computers these weather conditions and natural disasters, just like the laser that zapped people in Maui and burnt them to death. They're going to be creating them so that you will believe that you're being saved by their Antichrist, fake hologram Jesus in the sky. And the people that go along with it will be raptured. Or will you be fried on the spot and disappear? Or are you actually being abducted? Because you know they have a lot of children. They need to create this new world and have order in it. Getting your kids ready to go bye-bye with them. Right? These are the kind of things that you're going to be looking forward to. Just saying. Remember, you got it from me. Okay? And if it wasn't for that they're going to destructively be killing people to do this and to make this come about and to have the world that they want, where we're doing what they want, slaves to their freaking money in living like we have been, paying taxes on crap we already bought. Hello. And oh, while I'm thinking of it, by the way, did you know that in most states, if you bury a relative outside of the city limits on your property, you no longer have to pay taxes on it. So keep that in mind. And another thing, I'm wondering about vapes. Vapes. That's what causes the popcorn lung, right? Or could it be getting zapped with the microwaves and the fluid in your lungs, the water in your body bubbling up into your lungs and filling them up? Could it be that? And these vapes, this was another thing that I recently thought of, putting some 2 and 2s together, because to me, they make 4 and not 5 like we're told. That they have like salt in them, which I realize that when I do them, that they do dry out. Like, you'll have dry mouth. Right now my mouth is dry. And like, they'll dry out. Probably dehydrate you. Because they have like salt, whatever, something in the vape going into your lungs. You notice how they banned them. Now, why before they were going to do all this and start initially setting their agenda plans in action? Because they had us primed for it. Did they ban vapes from being sold? Was it because maybe it dries out the fluid in your lungs that you would have from the made up big V id Is it that? Could it be that? Could that be maybe the reason why they wanted to get rid of these before they had their big fake next pandemime happen? Because they don't want you to be able to do anything about all that fluid in your lungs that you could die from. Would they? Just a thought. Just a thought that I have. Like right now, I kind of have a headache from doing this because I'm dehydrated right now. All I had was freaking jacked up tea this morning with some coffee in with it. And I have not had a drink since then, but a little sip of something. But that all day. I haven't ate yet either, which I've got to do. Because I got a big day ahead of me. Oh, God. But that's another thing to think about. Good thing I have some of these lying around. Yeah. Anywho. Can't remember what exactly I was saying before that, but obla-dee, obla-da, life goes on. Well, la-da-da-da, life goes on. Yep. So this is it, boys and girls. For tomorrow, my suggestion, earplugs, in case it just has something to do with the sound, the actual sound of the whatever that it's gonna do. And be aware, tell your grandparents, your old people, get them far away from it so it don't give them a heart attack. That graphene, if there's graphene in your body that's settled in your brain or in your heart that could affect their heart when that signal goes off, or the waves that come through, it's gonna go right to that metal in your body. You do know what? You can't have a fork or spoon or nothing in the microwave, right? What happens to it that quick? I'm afraid to see what happens tomorrow after this. I'm afraid to see what's going to happen to people that I know. I'm not sure that it might not be strong enough to do immediate fast damage, because that would be too suspicious, wouldn't it? It would have to be like just enough to do something but not evaporate, explode your ass, like vaporize, like zap you, like or that quick without looking suspicious. So if it's located in your heart, the metal deposits that we've been fed one way or another, if we have, what's it going to do to your heart when you're zapped? And if it's not just the frequency, like the frequency could just be something that is being heard, but like those street lamps, I know I was zapped. I know. That's why I was sick. It wasn't a damn virus. It wasn't a virus. Even though I'm sure they're coming up with some to get you with if that don't work. Hello. But it's gonna happen. Things are gonna happen. So be prepared. Be prepared. Think about the things that I've said. Look into more things that you can look into yourself. And God bless. And to my friends and family, I love you. And if I love you, you know who you are. Because at one time or another, I've told you. And prepare as much as you can. Safeguard as much as you can. Get the freak away from your electronics tomorrow and your phone as long as you can. And if you think, I can't go one day without my phone, you can't go one day without your life either, can you? F your job. F your phone. F anybody or anything that's on it that you think you need to see. It's not worth your life. Don't be an idiot. Educate yourself as much as you can while we still have control of being able, well, enough control that we're able to see some things on the internet and be able to share some things like I am with you right now while you still can. Tell the people you love that you love them. I don't know how much longer they got or that I got, but I ain't going down without a fight. I can tell you that. Survival of the fittest, baby. Survival of the fittest. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of casualties of what they're doing. That is their objective. We don't stand that much of a chance without coming together. Together. Not on your phone by yourself. Together as people. Communicating again back to unity. It's the only way we stand a chance. Segregated by yourself, you ain't going anywhere. With that, good night, be safe, and be aware. Pay attention to October 4th and October 24th. Go to my profile on Facebook. Follow me for any information that I have on there right now and that I'm going to come up with and post soon in the near future, days, hours, whatever I come up with it. Jacqueline J. Scoville. And I'll keep you posted as I come up with something. All you gotta do is go watch and read. That's entertainment enough. I think life is more important than any game you might be playing on there or thing you might be goofing around with. Take your life into your own hands, like I am. Don't settle for people telling you what to do. You cannot trust a book by its cover, no matter how pretty They package what they're telling you. Don't fall for the distractions that they're selling you. There's evil minds at work. They are not in your best interest. But of course, they will package it like they are so that you will go along with it. Think for yourself. With that, good night. And may luck be on your side.